Good morning, natural gas. It's Monday, August the 10th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company, and this is the top news for natural gas. Number one, Iran lays out maximalist terms for the Strait of Hormuz reopening. Number two, in the US, weather models turn bullish. Number three, France is set to bake midweek. And number four, in PJM, the new interconnection queue, natural gas projects take up almost 50%. Let's turn to the spot September contract. We're currently up. We're currently trading at 279, up 12.8 cents or over 4.8%. And as you can see, the reversal pattern has held. We now have got two closes, positive closes here. We're closing potentially over the 13-period exponential moving average, which means we'll possibly move toward the 48-period exponential moving average, which today comes in at just under 294. As you can see, the RSI has turned positive to the upside here. That's good news. And let's take a look at the hourly chart. We are over the third resistance level. That's right, we're a little bit overbought at this point right now. Our third resistance level was 276.90. We're over that already. And as you can see, the RSI is in overbought condition. So we'll look to see if we can pull back here, possibly back down toward 272.90, that second resistance, and start to stabilize. But this is a strong reversal pattern here. That positive close on Friday, now confirmed today on a positive close as well. So that's good news here. Looks like we may start some short covering. Why? LNG is doing better. The weather models will turn bullish here. That's good news overall. Let's turn to the front to back spreads here. This is Jan versus October, and we're currently trading at 126.30, down 4.3 cents. The RSI is turning lower. Again, we're testing that 125 level. That's the injection spread here. It does incentivize and gas going into the ground above that 125. But right now, here it is. We're pausing at the moment. So let's take a look at the grid, and this is ERCOT. Right now, we're expected to be just over 87,000 megawatts here for system-wide demand, and renewables doing fairly well here, possibly upwards of around almost 42,000 megawatts. In the meanwhile, the fuel mix here, natural gas is taking up almost 36%, just over 23,500 megawatts here. Solar still is the king. It's a bright, warm, sunny day here in Texas. Let's turn to the national grid. And with the heat coming up, PJM, SPP, MISO, NISO, and yes, ISO New England, all going to be relatively stressed today. California and ERCOT doing fairly well because of renewables. So let's take a look at the weather forecast here. This is the 6 to 10 day outlook. And as you can see, that heat is settling into Texas all the way over to Florida. And it gets a little bit more widespread as we push into the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. And as we'll see next, it's going to be some extreme temperatures here as well. Let's turn to the extreme weather map here. This is the National Weather Service heat risk map here. Right now, currently, we've got 2.1 million people under extreme heat risk, mainly in the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, into Kansas. But as we expand into the week here, that pushes over towards St. Louis and then over into the Carolinas, down into Texas, down into Florida, down into Georgia. This expands as we get into Thursday, 8.9 million people. Then on Friday, 9.4 million people, heat risk in the southeast especially. That does ease up a little bit, but as you can see going into Sunday, this is still very, very warm. Arkansas all the way over to Georgia and Florida. Let's turn to the weather model, and this is the heat index. This is the European model, the AI model. As you can see, triple digits here starting on the 20th, all the way up from Texas up into South Dakota here, all the way back over into Des Moines, Iowa, and then pushing east. This gets worse as we go through the forecast period here. As you can see, these are some very, very warm temperatures here. Look, we've going back here one step here. Chicago 102, Atlanta 98, Raleigh, North Carolina 110. This is a conservative model. So really extreme heat is starting to move up the East Coast. So Dallas 102 all the way back here into Pennsylvania, all the way back into 100 degrees up here. So the heat is starting to migrate a little bit up the East Coast. And as you can see, there's Virginia 105. There is some cooler temperatures fighting it as we get late into the forecast period here, but it looks like there's some warmer temperatures ahead. And let's turn to Europe because France is about to bake yet again. Here is today, Monday. It is still warm, but then it gets really warm starting tomorrow here along the Brittany coast. And then it gets really, really hot here on the 13th. Look at this. UK, France, Spain, Belgium, in parts of Germany, all baking here midweek. Now that gets better as we go through the forecast period. There is some cooler temperatures next week. Thank God for those guys. But as you can see, we start getting a little bit warmer yet again toward the 23rd, 24th period here before possibly we're shaking off this heat one last time. We'll see, because right now France is about to bake. And here's the EU storage here, 58.8% full. Again, this is very, very low levels. The injection rate has just not been very good here, especially with this heat coming in. Places like France, and let's take a look at that, drill down into France. As you can see, really on its lows here because of this extreme heat. Again, 60% full for France seems like it's a good number, but last year, 80%. So we're 20% below last year. Not good news. How about Germany? Well, Germany is sitting at 48.2%. And so again, this is another bad number here. The injections need to rise, but they typically peak out this week or next. So we've got some problems in the EU. Let's take a look at Japan Korea marker, and this is as of Friday here. It was down slightly here on some of that Strait of Hormuz negotiation news, but as you can see, it's still very, very stout here for, of course, this is the September contract. Let's turn to the Asian weather here. Typhoon Dolphin has made it ashore here in eastern China. As you can see, the cooler temperatures moving in later today. That's rainfall from the typhoon. That will cool off Japan and Korea as well. That's good news for there. But as you can see, as we go through the forecast period, it starts to warm up again. Yes, the third week of August here, we get warmer temperatures again, back into Shanghai, all the way back up into Beijing. That will be the pattern as we go out into the September period. Let's take a look at the LNG, and we've got two tankers, LNG tankers at Ras Laffan. That's good news there. But as we pan out a little bit, as you can see, not much is going through the Strait of Hormuz, at least not with its trackers on. We'll see if this is the case, because we did see one Abu Dhabi tanker that was struck by a drone over the weekend. Let's turn to the U.S. Cameron LNG, steady as she goes, 1.476. That's good news there. Freeport also stable here at 1.12 right now, 1.2, excuse me. And then we've got Creole Trail, which is sitting at just under 1.45 right now. That's good news as well. And Corpus Christi ramping up here, almost no capacity left, running almost near nameplate capacity, over 2.65. This is positive news here. Venture Global doing well here as well, 1.674. And here is Plaquemines running over nameplate capacity. Yet again, good news here for LNG across the board. And yep, there's Golden Pass, over 500,000. That's fantastic news for Train 1. Keep it going, guys. Let's see if we can get up to capacity near 800 to 850,000 for Train 1. Train 2 is supposed to come online sometime toward the end of this year. We'll see if it happens. And here is the Gulf. It is quite quiet. There is some storm activity here near Corpus Christi, but otherwise it is fairly quiet around the Americas. And here is the Mid-Atlantic. And look, we've got a system that may have a chance. This one here seems to be pretty scattered, but this one's pretty concentrated, and it's just below that Saharan air layer. So it's got a hard path going ahead of it, but this is the time of year when some of this Saharan dust may start to ease up a little bit here, and these storms have a chance to form in the Mid-Atlantic. We'll keep a careful eye. How about the U.S. nuclear fleet? Well, this is positive for natural gas because we're up to 2.8 gigawatts are offline. Riverbend here 98% outage. Now Monticello is 100% outage. As you can see, now Palo Verde up to 1.7% outage here. Again, these are some of the nuclear units that will start to ease up a little bit here. And then as we get into September, we start seeing the maintenance and refueling season start to accelerate. That's good news for natural gas demand. Here is the drought. Once again, we need some help in the west because it's got an extreme drought really forming in Colorado here. This is an exceptional drought in southern Idaho, parts of Colorado, into the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas, even parts of South and North Carolina. So keep a careful eye on this. It's super El Nino year. And here is the wildfires. There's still wildfires up in the northwest province here of Canada, and we've got the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of fires in there, also all into British Columbia and Alberta. So a lot of smoke and particulate matter in the Pacific Northwest. And here it is. This is the Farmer's Almanac. This is the outlook. I know we'll throw anything out here. And as you can see, again, this is the typical El Nino period pattern, wetter than normal, stormy across the south. Up in the north here, it's supposed to be warmer than normal, but as you can see, cold, stormy at times, snowy periods, coastal storms. Yeah, we'll see whether or not this holds here, but this is slightly bullish for winter. We'll see if anybody really believes it. And let's take a look at the stocks. These are stocks in the oil and gas E&P sector. Stocks between $2 and $10 billion have a high short float, over 10%. As you can see, it's a sea of green. And right behind me, CNX up 1.22%. So good news here as natural gas is starting to recover. And here is natural gas again, recapping here for the spot September contract. We're currently trading at 279.5, up 13.3 cents or 5%. Hey, that reversal pattern has held so far. Good news there. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.